Yes, Vespa. Have an anarchy thing going on back there in the lower part of the jacket, and a flag of America with 1984 on it, um, and a couple of arm sleeve patches from rallies I was a part of on both sides, and so I was, this is like a windbreaker fall kind of jacket. I like to wear from time to time. I don't have a Vespa right now. Uh, but I'm telling you right now is that all the patches, the back and the sleeves, I earned them. I worked hard, and I had just the best time working and getting like obsessed. Not just working, I was obsessed with Vespa scooters. I rented a garage across the street from where I lived and turned that into a Vespa restoration kind of garage where I started driving around the state and to go into junkyards and buying junker Vespas, bringing them home, putting them in the garage, using them as parts, and then I'll maybe buy a good deal I find for another Vespa, and it just, before I knew it, I had a lot of Vespas. I just, some in different places and different phases. A lot of them were running, going good. Some of them were in work in progress mode, and it was just so neat. I didn't know anything about Vespas. In fact, my first Vespa was pretty much given to me by a couple of friends because I had a little Honda scooter that I spray painted black and had a couple of stickers up front on the apron, and so I would ride around with some of the Vespa people in my neighborhood, but on my little Honda kind of scooter back in the days. And I think they knew I loved Vespas. I knew if I would find one, and if I had the opportunity and the money, which I probably didn't have at the time, and I would do it. I would totally get a Vespa. So they gave me my first Vespa in a sense. I don't know if maybe I gave them a few dollars, some return on a little bit of their investment, but for the most part, they were in the middle of restoring it. It became a basket case. So it really wasn't a Vespa they rolled up on. It was all like the engine was in a basket. Everything was stripped down. So it was like, work in progress scooter. And I was so excited to get that. And that was like my first scooter. It was a Sprint 150. And it was just neat. I restored it, fixed the engine as best I could, ordered the manual so I could study up on what I needed to do. One of my good friends who also owned a Vespa was good at electronics, so he came in after the fact and helped me set up the wiring up for it. So it was really neat, and I started buying, restoring, and selling them. And that was like that tour duty. I did that for like 2 years. I had my little Vespa hobby nook going on across the street. And I'd go in that garage all the time and hang out. And those little engines are like, really not big. You put them on top of a work table in front of you and start to get into the insides, pull out the gears, pull out the clutch, the piston, like it was just this cool little engine, little carburetor. It really, I was just always fascinated and tinkering with it and tinkering with scooters. And I loved it. It was just, I had a great time doing it, and time went on. I, probably got in some crazy relationship or something like that, moved, and, then I was stuck with a bunch of scooter bodies, and eventually they got sold off, and so it finally it took a couple of years, but I ended up getting rid of all the scooters, um, and I went to a lot of rallies. In fact, me and a guy from another town over, and there was another little town between us, uh, instigated the first rally in the state, where he took all his friends that he knew that had scooters to agree to ride up to this town, and I took the people in this city to have a rally up to this middle ground too, so we all would meet up together, and at a cool like biker bar too. It's like a real biker bar in this little town in the middle of nowhere is where we met. And we were that was just the best place for us to meet. All of us pulling up in these little, or little Vespa scooters. Awesome. Awesome stuff, man. You can't buy stuff like that. It's just an experience of pure joy to be a part of that. So, that this jacket and that tour, I call it tour of duty because my life is so broken up in chapters, but that's the point. So, but this means a lot. It brings back so many great memories of me on my Vespa, and just I was a radical guy in the group. I was a little bit, not radical, but I was a little bit more risque about my riding, style. I was a little bit more, I loved to power brake and park my scooter and stuff like that, like just, and it was just, those things were just so awesome and so built, so durable that I just had a great time. That's that's my Vespa story, and that's why I was showing you the back, and to understand that was that's what it's about, and that's a part of me too, part of my past, and so I'm happy to have shared that with you. Hope you enjoyed the story, and if you have a Vespa, have fun. I want to say I'm jealous, but I'm really not jealous. I'm just going to say, just enjoy it. Have fun. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with scooters. Have an excellent, wonderful day. Great talking to you about Vespas and scooters. We'll talk later, okay? Bye.